Hello, hello. Black Bean Simpson here today. How's all this morning? Hope you all are doing good. So today, I came across this actually yesterday. Today I'm going to talk about this article that was put up on Reason by Eric Bohan. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But Congress just passed a farm bill that legalized industrial hemp. Other than that, it's a disaster. Well, I'm going to tell you why it isn't a disaster. Uh, it it goes into essentially talking about how it was an overwhelming vote for legalizing the industrial hemp, 369 to 47. To approve a $867 billion legislation easily to I'm just reading from here, easily overcame opposition to the bill from the House Freedom Caucus. So it's a great deal of money that's going towards uh, it's not just the legalization of industrial hemp. It's a farm bill that within it gives the legalization of industrial hemp, but within it what they talk about, which is essentially the disaster, isn't so much on the hemp part, but the hemp part was like the big selling point, I guess. At least that's what Reason is trying to claim. But at the same time, they're trying to claim that it's one of the worst ones because it allows distant relatives and their spouse to collect up to $125,000 a year in subsidies, so as long as they fill out the necessary paperwork. Right there. So what's interesting about that? Why I'm going to say and why I'm going to make the claim why this isn't a disaster, uh, even if it's distant relatives of farmers or people who claim. It even goes right here. It says, but probably the most appalling part of the farm bill is the widening of an agricultural subsidy program that already has been widely criticized for sending benefits to people who, by most measures, would not count as farmers. Congress rejected a proposal to limit those subsidies to individuals who live or work on a farm and instead expanded eligibility to include farmers' cousins, nieces, and nephews. Well, and I don't know who this is, as Caroline Kitchens of R Street Institute highlighted this week, the changes would allow distant relatives and their spouses to collect up to $125,000 a year subsidies. Let me repeat that, people. To anybody who's a farmer and comes across this this audio, get your cousins, get your family, get your spouses, get anybody that's in arm's reach, pretty much, of family members, and start. If you can get subsidies for buying up properties, if you can start building onto those properties, and write them off as subsidies. If you can do that, do it. If you can buy farming equipment and write those off as for these subsidies, then do it. Maybe some of you guys need a brand new tractor. $125,000 could potentially either pay off that entire new tractor or at least pay a good portion of it off. So I mean, that's in my eyes, this is a great thing because what it could do is it could get a bunch of relatives together to either help each other out or kind of help themselves out. Either way, it's what I see this as is it helps families who at least try to do things off of their own land. Where they go into where they say by most measures would not count as a farm. Well, but what's that? What does by most measures even mean? What does that mean? I mean, if we understood what that exactly means, but what is that? I mean, they rabbit farm, or they just they just farm a bunch of rabbits and kill off a bunch and collect their hide. To me, that's still a farmer. It's just a very very small farmer. All right, but if they wanted to expand, or if they if they can get the if they could do something to expand on business or make a couple jobs or even help themselves and help their own family. 125, because here's the way I look at it. Most of the people that are doing these things are living off their own land and stuff like that. Who are they? Who are they? They're not immigrants. They're not people in the cities. They're not they're not communities that cry out victimhood constantly. That's that's why I'm like, these are the people that need this help. These are the people who actually work. These are the people who actually have family members that are doing as much as they can, and probably these are some of the people who pay the most taxes out of like middle class, middle or even upper class wages, I guess you could say, yearly grossly wages. Because some farmers, I would not claim are wealthy by no means, but they bring in $1 million a year, but they pay in, at an expense of $900,000 a year. So they get to keep maybe $100,000 of that. But even then, they still have issues where they might have to tap into their own money. I mean, people just don't understand the expenses of that type of stuff. This is why I'm like $125,000. Like that's great. I mean, so hey, if you're a farmer, you got family, get yourself out there, get your family out there because this is great. I mean, this is, and while you're at it, when you're buying, if you can buy property and get that subsidized, so you essentially get reimbursed for that money, go ahead and start yourself up a nice crop of hemp because this is going to be a cash crop like crazy. I think you can grow up to 2 crops a year. I mean corn you can only do once. I mean I don't know any. I mean there might be some cash crops out there like that, but I don't know of any. At the same time, there's none in the northern region where I'm at, to best of my knowledge. This is it right here. You can technically grow 2 harvests a year with these hemp, and at the same time, you're not like, I think you can just go get yourself hemp seeds, and you're not stuck with like GMO seeds that are like if they land in your yard, the next thing you know, you're getting sued by the people that own that seed. Like that's the awesomeness about this stuff. This stuff will revolutionize agriculture as we know it, which is why we have not seen cannabis ever put on the market like corn. Like like hemp's gonna beat corn like like flying waters. Like I don't even know what that means, but it's just gonna beat it tenfold. It's just there's so many applications cannabis can be used for. Hemp. I shouldn't say keep on saying cannabis. Hemp. This is hemp, which is part of the cannabis plant. It's just that this is the breed of cannabis plant that does not produce the psychedelic known as THC, which is right here. It's called tetrahydrocannabinol, which is a cannabinoid that connects to your cannabinoid receptors in your brain, which is why this chemical that you find in cannabis affects us. It's that very reason, which is one of the reasons of what baffles a lot of scientists about it. It's like, how does a plant produce that fits our cannabinoid receptors so well that then in effect stimulates our brain like it does? But either way, it doesn't produce. It produces like pretty much zero, low levels. You know, it's pretty much like non-existent. You'll get headaches because you'd be smoking so much smoke. So President Donald Trump, he's expected to sign it later this week, it's great. But this is something too you will never hear on fake news, on CNN, MSNBC, all those propaganda channels. And if you did, it would be like a quick 2-second headline flyby and never be said again. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like this podcast, please like and subscribe and share too. That'd be great. Thank you. You all have a good day. Thanks for listening.